in the class of probability of class 12th. So students, you people have already studied in probability at class 11th that how we can apply the concepts of set theory and permutation and combination to find out the probability of different events. At class 12th, even you people have to find out the probability of events only, but at this class you will learn how to find out the probability of an event when another event of the same random experiment already occurred. So now let us proceed ahead. Here, first topic is conditional probability. So conditional probability in this term, we have the two number of events, suppose capital A and capital B of a random experiment of which S be the sample space. Then probability of occurrence of B when the event A has already occurred, and that is equal to probability of occurrence of B when A has already occurred, and this is equal to probability of B intersection A divided by probability of A, where probability of A should not be equal to 0. This stands for number of elements of the set A. This thing should also be not equal to 0. It means that our A should not be an impossible event. Now we know well that here probability of A should not be equal to 0, so that our this expression may be well defined. Now if it will be elaborated, then it will be equal to number of elements of B intersection A divided by number of elements of the event A. Similarly, we can define our probability of occurrence of A when B has already occurred. This is equal to probability of A intersection B divided by probability of B, where probability of B should not be equal to 0. It means that number of elements of the set B means number of the outcomes favoring B, that thing should not be equal to 0, means the event B should not be impossible. So even this thing will be equal to number of outcomes favoring the event A intersection B divided by number of outcomes favoring the event B. Now we can understand this situation with the help of two examples. In one example, we are considering one container which is containing 4 number of red balls and 7 number of black balls. So let us consider the event E1 of selecting one black ball in the first draw, and E2 is equal to event of selecting one red ball in the second draw. Actually, this is the random experiment of the selection of two balls, one after another without replacement. One after another without replacement. And without replacement stands for here that suppose if one ball will take out, okay, then it should not happen that the same ball will be kept again back in the same container. This thing should not happen. So this is the meaning of the selection of the balls one after another without replacement. So now in this case, probability of occurrence of E2 when E1 has already occurred, and this is equal to, so if E1 will occur, then it means that we have already selected one black ball. In this case, we are going to consider the chance of occurrence of event E2. Then obviously here any one red ball, so this thing can be selected in 4 number of ways divided by, here total number of balls are 11 in number, but since one ball has already been taken, so the total number of balls left in the container, so that will be 10. So after simplification, this result will be 2 by 5. And if we will have to calculate the probability of occurrence of event E1 when E2 has already occurred, then it will be meaningless. Why? It is so because that this thing is showing that the probability of occurrence of event E1, or this thing is showing here that probability of selection of one black ball in the first draw, this thing is taking place after the selection of one red ball in the second draw. So how it will be possible that we can consider the event of selection of one black ball in the first draw when second draw has already been done? Okay, so first draw will take place first only. Okay, and after that only second draw will take place. So since here we are considering the event of selection of one black ball in the first draw, when second draw has already been taken place, so obviously this probability will be meaningless, right? Now consider the second example. In the second example, we have a random experiment of rolling 2 dice at a time. Then consider E1 is equal to event of getting sum of the outcomes at most 4. So obviously this set in the roster form will become the ordered pairs 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 2 1, 2 2. And here we are observing that the sum of both of these two constituents or components, and that is equal to at most 4. It is 2, 3, 4, 3 and then again 4. Now E2 is equal to event of getting at least 1 2. So this stands for our possible outcomes in the form of ordered pairs will be 1 2, 2 1, 2 2, 2 3, 2 4, 2 5, 2 6, 6 2, 5 2, 4 2 and 3 2. Then probability of occurrence of event E2 when E1 has already occurred, okay, and this is equal to probability of E1 intersection E2 divided by probability of E1, and this will be also equal to number of outcomes favoring E1 intersection E2 divided by number of outcomes favoring E1, and this will be equal to obviously 3 by 5. Why? Because E1 intersection E2, this will contain elements, this underlying elements it will contain 1 2, 2 1, 2 2. Even at this place there are the 3 elements common 1 2, 2 1, 2 2. So total 3 number of outcomes are common. So that's why in numerator we can write 3 and in denominator we can write total number of outcomes favoring E1. Here total number of outcomes are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why here we have written 5. Right? So these are the examples. So and so on. In this way we can compose so many examples. Right? So these are the examples of conditional probability, where we are observing that how to calculate probability of an event, okay, when another event of the same random experiment already occurred. So now let us proceed for the properties of conditional probability. So under this property, under this segment, we are assuming E1, E2, E3 dash dash En number of events of a random experiment. Remember here that all of these events should be of the same random experiment. Here we are not supposed to compare the events of one random experiment with the events of another random experiment. Okay, so our domain of consideration should not change. It should remain the same. So that's why we are considering here, suppose the E1, E2, E3 dash dash En means total n number of events of a random experiment, of which capital S be the sample space, where EI is equal to 1, 2, 3 dash dash n. Actually here total n number of events we are showing. Okay, so in precise way we have shown it like that, of which capital S be the sample space. Then first property is probability of EI slash EI, means probability of occurrence of ith event when ith event has already occurred. Now here ith event stands for any one of the n number of events like E1, E2, E3 dash dash En, any one of the event like that. So this is equal to probability of EI intersection EI divided by probability of EI, and this will be equal to probability of EI divided by probability of EI. This is equal to 1, where probability of ith event, so that is not equal to 0, where I belongs to the set containing elements 1, 2, 3 dash dash n. Means here this event may be any one among the n number of events, of which S be the sample space, and these events are of the same random experiment. Now probability of occurrence of EI, okay, when S has already occurred. Now here S is the sample space, and this sample space is considered as the sure event. So this is equal to probability of EI intersection S divided by probability of S. This is equal to probability of EI divided by probability of S as per the definition, and here EI must be the value of EI intersection S. It is so because that EI is the subset of S, and this is equal to PEI by 1, because probability of sure event is always equal to 1, and this is equal to probability of EI, where I belongs to the set containing elements 1, 2, 3 dash dash n. Third number property is probability of S slash EI is equal to probability of S intersection EI divided by probability of EI is equal to probability of EI divided by probability of EI, because S intersection EI will always be equal to EI itself. So after simplification, our result will be 1, where PEI should not be equal to 0. So this thing is self-understood, because if this thing will happen, then this probability will be undefined, where I belongs to this set containing elements 1, 2, 3 dash dash n. Fourth property is probability of EI complement slash S, means probability of occurrence of EIth complement when S has already occurred. So this is equal to 1 minus probability of EI slash S, where I belongs to the set containing elements 1, 2, 3 dash dash n. Now fifth number property is probability of EI union EJ slash EK. Okay, means that we are considering here any three events EI, EJ and EK randomly out of the n number of events EI, E1, E2, E3 dash dash En of the same random experiment. Okay, then this will be, if this will be expanded, then our result will be probability of EI slash EK plus probability of EJ slash EK minus probability of EI intersection EJ slash EK. So this is as per the formula of probability of E1 union E2, of which you know well that what is it? It's expanded form. Okay, so one thing is extra at this place, and that is what the case of conditional probability. Here EI union EJ as an event is being occurred, okay, when EK has already occurred. So under this situation, we are calculating here the probability of occurrence of this event, and this is the expanded form of this expression. Sixth number property is probability of EI complement slash EJ complement, where that is equal to probability of EI complement intersection EJ complement divided by probability of EJ complement, and this is equal to, by De Morgan's law, we can write probability of EI union EJ whole complement. We know well that EI complement intersection EJ complement is equal to probability of EI union EJ whole complement divided by 1 minus probability of EJ. Okay, and this is equal to, we can write, since here there is complement, so we can write, because we know well that probability of E complement, and that is equal to 1 minus probability of E. So likewise here EI union EJ is one event. So for that we can write here the result 1 minus probability of EI union EJ divided by 1 minus probability of EJ, where I comma J belong to, this stands for belongs to the set containing elements 1, 2, 3 dash dash n. Means here I and J, these are the elements belonging to this set. It means that here EI and EJ are the two number of events among E1, E2, E3 dash dash En. Thank you. So next I will discuss in the next board work.